So we get to the news of the day surrounding the 48 team in the Daily Fuel. Alex Bowman has been medically cleared to return to racing for the Coca-Cola 600 this weekend. Bowman missed the last 3 points races and the All-Star race with a fractured vertebra he suffered in a sprint car crash in late April. Now, he passed a NASCAR-approved medical evaluation test at North Wilkesboro Speedway yesterday. The 48 team had been granted a medical waiver to remain eligible for the playoffs. So with that, speaking of those playoffs, we look at the playoff leaderboard, and because of that missed time, Bowman now sits below the cut line, currently 17th. He's 5 points out. He has those 6 top 10 finishes in 10 races so far this season. A best finish of 3rd at Vegas. And by the way, guys, I don't you know this, but Sunday will be just the 5th time this season that Hendrick Motorsports has their complete roster of drivers and crew chiefs midway through the season, right? And only the 5th time they're going to have that, which is crazy. But you know, you've been through this before, returning from an injured back. So what is Alex Bowman facing this weekend?
I mean, he's in for it, right? First of all, very thankful that and happy for him that he's coming back to race with us. But of all races that come back, the 600-mile race at Charlotte, you know, I think not only is it a test of the physicality, we saw Chase Elliott come back, and when he came back at Martinsville, he slumped down next to his car when the race was over, and he said, man, you know, the race mentally and everything was fine, and we had a good day, but physically it was a lot more than I anticipated with sitting on the couch for, you know, however many weeks before that. So now Alex Bowman being out for a month, getting into a race car to go run the longest, most tough race of the year, 600 miles at Charlotte. And that racetrack's really bumpy, really, really rough. So jostling around, that impact on his spine. And then, you know, he's already talked about it, and I know from when I broke my back, the pit stops. That car jacks up on the left side, and when they drop that jack, it slams down on that left side jack, and it really puts a lot of pressure on your spine. So for a 600-mile race at Charlotte, you have more pit stops there than at any other race we go to. So I want to talk to Alex Bowman when the race is over. I want to see how he does, how he fares with, you know, not only a long race, but a racetrack that's very demanding, very bumpy, very rough, and all of those things are going to put a lot of load and a lot of pressure on his spine.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk with Alex Bowman, because I'd imagine as a driver, you want to be back in the car. And you may look at how grueling this race would be, but you're sitting out and watching someone else drive your car, and you're like, man, come on, I want to get back in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a month, you know, since he's been out of the race car, so 4 weeks, and, you know, it seemed like when you're sitting on the couch watching somebody else drive your car, you heal a little bit faster than maybe in the off season. So for him, you know, to come back and choose the Coke 600, I mean, I think if he got cleared, he's physically, mentally, you know, he thinks he's ready. And even though we know, like you just said, it's going to be tough, there's a lot of things that happen on that racetrack. These cars don't ride easy. Right. To go fast, you're going to have to probably ride a little bit rough. But yeah, I think for Alex, I think he's really wanting to get back in there, and he wants to get back in a race car. That's what he does. And after 4 weeks off, I think he feels like he's healed up. We'll